let's say you can't buy a house in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Forget the 100-year-old erroneous stigma that the GTA has of Windsor. By the way, that was created during Prohibition in the 1920s. We are not a dirty little car town. Come on down. You'll be shocked. We have the highest net disposable incomes in Canada.
Yeah.
We literally have more money to spend on average than any other group of Canadians.
You shouldn't be sharing all this information to anybody but the people of Windsor.
This headline is 2021, and this headline is 2022. Overall, the rents are up over 1% a month and continue to. Back-to-back years, the rents are going up very quickly. And again, they're going to continue to. We just don't have enough. We don't have enough housing.
No, but with the pricing of the houses and those rent numbers, that's amazing cash flow itself.
This is an ADU where they're actually doing it and they're going to resell it with the ADU.
Okay.
Right? So this is one where if you don't want to do the renovations, but you want the house plus the ADU unit because there's more cash flow than a duplex in a lot of cases, right? All of these ADUs, if they're done correctly, they spit out more money than a traditional duplex for the same price. So you can see here, I mean, look at the annual income, right?
Yeah. Welcome back, everyone, to the Canadian Real Estate YouTube channel. I am Danni Migueis, head coach, realtor, and investor from Rebel Realty Barrie. And today we have your Windsor real estate expert, Rhys. How are you today, Rhys?
Doing well, doing well.
That's good.
Don't have one of those nasty flus going around, so today's a good day.
It's a great day.
Yeah.
How's the weather there?
So fun fact, Windsor typically is 5 degrees warmer than the GTA.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yeah, about 6 more weeks of summer a year. And right now we still have leaves on a lot of the trees falling off of some of them. Mild today, about 10 degrees Celsius.
Wow, you're lucky.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Are you lucky, though, in the real estate world out there? What's happening?
So if you would have asked me that as a salesperson a month ago, I would have been like, yeah, Danny, it's going great. Sales are doing so. But yeah, no, things have rebounded for us. We'll get into it in the interview, but I'll show you guys how and why this is the beginning of the end of a great window to invest in.
Perfect. We're looking forward to hearing.
Okay, so we'll start off with some stats on the Windsor market right now. Sales are down over last year 50%.
Oh, wow.
Which it's insane. Like literally, it doesn't really affect by itself. It doesn't affect an investor from investing in a good property that's worth investing in, right?
Yes. Yep.
But what it does show you is the lack of competition right now to get that deal, to get that income property that benefits you for the next 5 to 10 years.
Yes,
it's a great time.
Yeah, it's the best time right now for investors to get in there, right? Get ready, prepared, and jump.
Yeah, well, so what we do right now is we've accepted that the market has cooled down, and of the, let's say, the 100 income properties currently on the MLS in Windsor, my team knows that only about 10% of those are worth investing in, right? About 10 out of the 100. So they're constantly, based on their niche specialty, they're constantly going through all of those listings and, of course, all of their exclusive listings that never hit the MLS as well. And they're going through and making sure these are good deals for the buyer investor, because they don't want to see you just buy one, they want to see you buy more. So, right, because the more wealth you get as an investor, the more commissions they make as they sell you more property. So it's a win-win situation to get it right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for us to get it right for you right now, because the best properties, the best 10%, they, in a busier market, they tend to get a couple extra buyers competing with you and now you're paying more money for the property. Now you're getting a smaller capitalization rate return. You're getting less cash flow over time.
Yep.
Because you had to compete at the beginning. What I'm showing right now is you don't have to compete like you did.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to last forever. What we basically conclude is that by the time the snow melts in March,
Mm-hmm.
and that whole spring rush comes back, and everybody realizes that there's not enough houses still, supply and demand still being the big 800-pound gorilla in the room,
Yeah.
right? Forget about all the other micro and macroeconomic factors. You don't have enough housing for rent.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have enough housing for purchase.
Yep.
Right. So what's happened in Windsor is, yes, the property values have come down about 23, 24% after a high of, I mean, look, it was stupid between January 1st and 31st. Like the prices went up 36% in 90 days
Wow.
in Windsor. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, that is.
So I was literally, we put the word out with our investors, just wait, this is not lasting. And sure enough, phew. And so our buyer investors, our seller investors were like, sell now. It's not this high. There's no way.
Yeah.
It was impossible.
Yeah.
It was unsustainable. It was impossible. So, so what you're going to get now is rents that have stayed up, and rents are still increasing by 1% a month in Windsor. But your property value is readjusted downward 23% cheaper.
Right.
So all of a sudden we're selling properties again at 7 cap, 8 cap.
Mm-hmm.
And for people that think, well, the interest rates went up, blah, blah, blah. Well, the interest rates didn't go up fast enough to offset those nice high rents.
Mm-hmm.
0.5% increase by the bank. If they issue a 0.5% increase on the average mortgage in Windsor on an 80% loan to value mortgage, your mortgage only went up $97 a month.
Wow.
Your rents are up 1% a month.
Yes.
They're literally going up every year, like $200, $300, right? And then per unit, it's like, yeah, okay, there's some bumps in your interest rate. If you're worried about that, do a 30-year amortization.
Yeah.
Do a 40-year amortization. You'll maintain your cash flow. And now you got the cap rate.
Yes.
Right.
Long term.
Yeah. The next key indicator that I really want to show everybody is why we think this is the beginning of the end of this window of opportunity for investors in Windsor. Can I get my mouse over there? Yeah. Can you see my mouse?
Yep. You're good.
Prices have gone up the last 2 months in Windsor.
Perfect.
Right? So here's your market adjustment from that crazy tulip craze, January 1st to March 31st. If nobody knows what I mean by tulips, look up the tulip craze in the Netherlands in the 1500s. That was the first bubble. That was the first economic bubble. So, so you've had this sort of adjustment back down to reality. But look at this now. Look at this since, basically July, let's call it. Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that look like the bottom before things go up again?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Windsor creating tens of thousands of jobs right now?
Yep.
500,000 immigrants a year?
Yep.
Not enough housing already without them?
Right.
What do you think is going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
It's supply and demand. And we still have the most affordable housing of any major city in Canada as a sort of an average of what percentage of your family income goes to putting a roof over your head.
Right.
We have the smallest percentage of any major city.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah. We also have, and I'll get to that in a second. We have the highest increases in rents over the last couple of years, and that'll continue. We just don't have enough. Market activity year to date. All I'm showing is that it's not a dead market.
Okay.
Right. There is a lot of activity on the market. It's just a lot more listings, and a lot fewer sales.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
It's the same in our market as well here in Barrie. We were up in listings, but our sales were way down the last couple months.
So if you think about what that means to me or you as an investor, it means we have more properties to choose from.
Yep.
We can now take our time with things. Heaven forbid we have a home inspection condition, Oh my God. What are
Wait,
those?
I was gonna say, what is that?
Yeah. What do you explain this crazy concept of a home condition to me? But they're back. You can do conditions again and go through the due diligence carefully and make sure that you're buying something that increases your portfolio, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I did want to show that there's robust activity.
Mhm.
The opportunity is that there's way more listings, as Danny said, in Barrie as well, I suppose, and I'm sure a lot of other places. But it's a great time to find that one that you want. I like this slide. I kind of wish I'd done it as a bar graph, but it does show you sort of what is selling in Windsor. Look at the price range, guys.
Yeah, wow.
Look at where the bulk of them are, right? And I can tell you, we are doing good cash flowing income property sales, basically between about 200 and about 425,000. That's been our team window over the last 2 months as our sales have picked back up.
And what a great price range.
Right. And I didn't think this was ever coming back. Yeah. It's just waving to my wife.
No, that's okay. Say hello to her for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm working from home today. So
perfect.
yeah. So yeah, to give you this sort of idea there, there's a lot of opportunity for investors to, like investors that are being priced out of the GTA market, right? Or in general, let's say you can't buy a house in Toronto, right?
Yeah.
Forget the 100-year-old erroneous stigma that the GTA has of Windsor. By the way, that was created during Prohibition in the 1920s. We are not a dirty little car town. Come on down. You'll be shocked. We have the highest net disposable incomes in Canada.
Yeah.
We literally have more money to spend on average than any other group of Canadians.
You shouldn't be sharing all this information to anybody but the people of Windsor.
Well, so one of the guys on our team, Jason Balsden, he actually specializes in literally taking people from the GTA that can't afford a house and either getting them to come down to Windsor, buy that house, live in it, add the ADU, add the additional dwelling unit.
Yeah. Right.
And either you're living down here for 5 to 7 years and you're building up an investment portfolio, and then you can go and buy the house of your dreams back in the GTA. I mean, for younger investors, I mean, why not?
What a great concept.
Well, and you have a plethora of jobs down here. There's some reasonably good unskilled labor, but if you have any trade, like we're short nurses, we're short doctors, we're short every construction trade, every tool and die, tool and mold industrial trade, we're short everything. Come on down. If you don't want to come on down, you still think RoboCop and the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse are going down Main Street down here. And that sort of misconception is disappearing now. But when I started the business 20 years ago, I'm like, what's with these Toronto people that think everything's like $1 down here and everything's burned down? Like, it's so weird. Yeah, we had to actually get them to come down the 401.
Yeah. And actually see for themselves, right?
This is a true story. I'm going to say it really fast, but we literally, we just didn't understand. So I had to train my early team that if the 416, the 905, or the 647 called about an income property, stop selling the income property. Your job is to get them to come down physically to Windsor. And then when they would show up at our brokerage, Manor Realty, we wouldn't let them in straight away. We would walk out and greet them with a stopwatch. And we would stand by the side of the road, Walker Road, which is one of our busier roads. We say, okay, tell me when you see a rusted, beat up car. And it was an average of about 2.5 minutes. They go, there's no rusted, beat up cars. Okay, let's go inside.
Oh, perfect. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Like that. We don't have to do it anymore. I think with the internet, the perception is improving now, where people kind of understand we got it really good down here. Yeah. But anyway, if you want to stay in the GTA for whatever reasons, continue renting up there, but you build up an investment portfolio with us down in Windsor. And that increased equity over time and cash flow over time and portfolio over time is going to give you that strength and power to either sell off the portfolio to buy the house of your dreams in the GTA, or alternatively refinance your portfolio and keep it and buy the house of your dreams in the GTA. So Jason Balsden on our team actually does that.
That's awesome.
So other real estate agents will send down their clients that are they're approved to a $500,000 mortgage. What are you going to do in the GTA with that? Right. So send them to us and Barrie included, Danny.
Yeah.
Barrie included.
Barrie included.
You guys are GTA now, aren't you?
Pretty much. It won't take long before we're all connected. It's slowly happening.
Yeah, it is. I've traced on Google Earth. It's spreading.
Yeah. So I'm actually just looking. Our stats came out for, I think it was September. They did rental stats. So our average price for a 2-bedroom rental in Barrie right now is about $2,400.
That's crazy.
Crazy, right? That's Toronto. That's the GTA pricing.
These prices have gone up substantially over. I mean, the studio prices have skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Probably because they're the cheapest, right? So people that are, I hate to say it, but are living, paycheck to paycheck, that are tight. I mean, they're going to the studios, right? And now the studios are skyrocketing in price. Overall, the rents are up over 1% a month and continue to. Why I like this slide is because this is this headline is 2021 and this headline is 2022.
Wow.
Right. Back to back years, the rents are going up very quickly. And again, they're going to continue to. We just don't have enough. We don't have enough housing.
No, but with the pricing of the houses and those rent numbers, that's amazing cash flow itself. In Barrie, to get a rental, you're looking at starting at 650, 700,000 plus for any type of rental. So your cash flow at 2,500 isn't that much, right?
No. Yeah, I feel fortunate as an investor that I was born and raised in Windsor because I've always had the sandbox in my own backyard to make that cash flow. And then I've been in the business long enough. I've been in the business now over 20 years. And I still remember going to the Canadian Apartment magazine. And there was a couple of agents that were multifamily experts in Toronto that did an article on sort of the declining cap rate in Toronto. This is back, 17, 18 years ago. And I read that graph and I'm like, oh my God, Toronto people will buy an income property with a 7 cap?
Wow.
What's wrong with them? Oh, that's horrible, right?
Yeah.
20 years later, it's like, man, I'd sell my mom for bus fare to get a 7 cap, right? And it's like,
Mom, I hope you're not watching this.
No, my mom is used to me. Yeah. Shooting my mouth off. But yeah, no, we are back to sort of, we actually just sold a 4-plex the other day at an 8.5 cap.
Wow.
And man, I haven't seen 7 and 8s for 3 or 4 years.
Really?
No. So yeah, we got all the way down to people were buying apartment buildings for like under a 4% cap in Windsor. And it's like, I mean, if if it's a value add, great.
Yeah.
So if the rents are artificially low, no problem. I'll take those 2 years to turn over the tenants to bring the rents up, right? But if you don't have a value add proposition and you're buying under a 4 cap in Windsor, it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who's even selling you that?
You're not working with Rhys and his team. That's what's not happening.
Thanks for the plug. I appreciate that. No, but I mean, we have a duty of care, right? And again, the duty of care also has a selfish capitalistic investment. We don't want to just sell you one building and watch you suffer and you never buy anything ever again. That means we only get one commission.
Yep.
We want to build you up over time. We want to make you wealthy. And the better the properties we're selling you and the better people that we're setting you up with, like our tradespeople and we call it our power team, but the right property managers, the right repairmen, the right contractors, the right plumbers.
Yeah.
If we set you up like that, and this is what we do on a regular basis, and you're just using the same people that we use to make our own wealth.
Yeah.
What we're doing is we're reducing the risk of failure big time. And we're greatly increasing the prospect of you getting to your goals of profitability and hopefully generational wealth that you can pass on to your own kids, through bricks and mortar. I've got 3 properties for you guys that are all, I believe all 3 of them are exclusive in-pocket listings, not on the MLS.
These are the best slides, so we're not going to turn them down.
Yeah, there you go. Drum roll, please. Yeah. Hey, that was good. Yeah. So Jason Balsden, he does a lot of relocation to Windsor, Ontario.
Okay.
It's Steve Gerouge on our team that does a lot more of the 2-unit to 6-unit sales.
Okay.
And he's a machine. Like, when there's not a lull in the market like we just endured, I mean, he sells a couple of them a week.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we call him the Tasmanian devil. He's just like a tornado.
Yes.
So Jason, as I said, he focuses on if you want to move to Windsor and sort of live in your building real estate portfolio, or if you want to build a real estate portfolio and continue to live in Toronto with the idea of eventually being able to buy your own house. And he liaises heavily with mortgage brokers in Toronto and top real estate teams in Toronto to procure those clients.
That's awesome. What a great networking.
Yeah, well, we're networked with a lot of the top teams in North America. So the top teams in Canada, we reach out to them. They refer us all the time and vice versa. It's a good system. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Jason right now has this duplex here. Look at the price.
I'm in awe. So
this is not in a bad neighborhood. This is in a good working class, middle class neighborhood called, it's on the fringes of what's called Old Walkerville, which is our distillery district.
It's so cute.
Yeah, a good comparison for the GTA. This would be like Ronchensville, this little area. A lot of hipsters. The buildings have been recently fixed up, and little breweries and all that kind of stuff.
Up and coming.
This particular, just for a few blocks, and then a few blocks later, you're into the oldest part of Old Walkerville, which is really gentrified. It's kind of like, oh man, what would it be like? Cabbagetown.
Okay.
Be like Cabbagetown. I'm using Toronto neighborhood references to give it, it's kind of like a mix of that going down Parliament to the distillery district. It's that kind of vibe.
Awesome.
Yeah. But we don't have the cash flow on here, but it is a cash flowing property. It's got 2 1-bedroom units. And Bob's your uncle. I mean, these are the sort of things we can do right now. You couldn't do $299 6 months ago.
No.
It would be a bidding war. You would have sold for $450. Now you can buy it for, I'm guessing, like the 280s.
Right.
And again, I don't believe this is going to last. I think as the snow melts come March in Windsor, you're going to see that buyer competition again. And again, a lot of it is as soon as you hit this bottom, right, that we mentioned before, as soon as you hit this, all of a sudden the Mexican standoff between vendors and buyers ends. The buyers have been waiting for the bottom. Well, guess what? That's the bottom.
Yes.
And the only reason you're not going to see it drive up right now with bidding wars is because you're entering Christmas season and the 2 feet of snow season. And a lot of people stay home through that.
Yeah. Only the serious, sorry to cut you off. Only the serious buyers are going out in the 2 feet of snow, right?
Yeah. That's absolutely true. Yeah. It's funny because our investors know that. And it's hilarious to watch how busy my agents are in and around the Christmas break when we're supposed to be taking a break.
Yeah.
They can't because the investors are smart. They know nobody else is out there. And they pick off a couple of deals. Yeah. So
amazing.
Yeah, try to leave my people alone, guys, between Christmas and Christmas Eve, just as a courtesy, but they will sell to you the day before Christmas Eve. Actually, we've done sales on Christmas Eve.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we've done them before.
Dedicated.
Yeah. Plural. Yeah. Oh yeah, investors don't mess around, man. They'll take advantage of any edge,
The smart ones, right?
Yeah. So this is an example of the kind of duplexes we can do for you guys right now. And it does look like legislation is coming. You can't do it here because the land is too small. You can buy a duplex like this, and very soon you're going to be able to add additional dwelling units to them. Right now, the way the laws are written, it's like single family house, you can add 2, but duplex, you can't add any. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's strange.
Doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So I actually met with one of the conservative MPPs from the provincial government 2 weeks ago now. And he was explaining to me how they're going to implement the adjustments to the building code over the course of 3 more years.
Okay.
And that's one of the big things they're tackling are those, they want to increase density.
Yeah.
And it's great for the investors, right? We can buy a house and add 2 units. Like, that's pure gold, and I'll get into the ADUs next. So Stephanie Saunders on our team, she's an absolute firebrand. and I'll warn you up front, guys, if you get excited about doing ADUs and you call Stephanie and you tell Stephanie that you're living in a land of rainbows and unicorns and she smashes you verbally in the face, don't be upset, because she is a glass of cold water and the height of professionalism, and she doesn't mess around. She will grab you by the scruff of your neck and get you to the finish line, and you'll be happy. Yeah,
Sweet.
but we get one or two people a year that go, oh, Stephanie, blah, blah. And I'm like, I know why. You're living in the clouds.
Yes.
She will guide and steer you to profitability and wealth. Come hell or high water. She's fantastic.
That is awesome. And I mean, that's who you want on your side. That's who you want running your show.
Oh, right? Man. Yeah. Well, I find with ADUs, though, a lot of people come to her and, I want to buy 10 of them, and they've got 20 grand in the bank. And it's like, guys, like, there's a few things you got to do first.
Yes.
So with ADUs, we do recommend that you have at least $80,000 cash, because you got to do the down payment, and then you got to have enough money to do the mother-in-law suite in the basement, right? That takes money, right? So she's been fantastic. She does them herself with her fiance. And again, guys, when I'm talking about us investing, we're not stealing all the best deals, and et cetera, et cetera. It's actually quite the contrary. Like, usually I'd be doing this video shoot right now from a building that I own in the Distillery District, built in 1888.
Wow.
The reason I own it is because none of our clients wanted to buy it when it was a value add project. We couldn't believe it. Like, why won't they buy it? Oh, it's got a bar on the main floor. The bar is literally the oldest continuously open bar, pub, or restaurant in Ontario. It's been open since 1897 on the same lease, on the same, like, it's like, oh, but it's got a bar. Yeah.
It's got a bar, but what a great feature. And people know, like, people would come to see that bar.
It's the oldest continuously open bar, pub, or restaurant. Like, this is the pub where the Ford Motor Company of Canada signed Ford Canada, which is Canada's first automotive company. It was signed in that pub. The Canadian Auto Pact was originally, the first version was signed in that pub. Al Capone, Babe Ruth and the Yankees, Ty Cobb and the Tigers, they've all been in there.
Oh my God, what history. How many you want the building? Yeah,
it's right by where Canadian Club Whiskey was created. The huge breweries right there on the water. Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, so back to this with Stephanie. She specializes in adding the ADUs. She practices what she preaches, right? With ADUs specifically, guys, there are not enough of you buying houses in adding mother-in-law suites. And again, the cheapest mother-in-law suite is into the basement. I know everybody wants to put the tiny home in the backyard. Okay, great. But that's the most expensive. Literally, the cheapest is putting in the basement. The second cheapest is putting the extension on the back of the house.
Yep.
The third cheapest is building it on top of a detached garage. The most expensive of the four is the tiny home in the backyard.
Yes.
So, use the tiny home as your second ADU on the property. Right? Your first ADU, go with the most cost-effective one, right? Yep. So anyway, that's what Stephanie does, and she will guide you. Like, again, if you want to do the tiny home in the backyard, again, Stephanie will go, whack, do the basement first, right? I make her sound like she's totally like ultra aggressive. She is not that rude or blunt, but she will never tell you what you want to hear. She will always tell you what you need to hear. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Perfect.
I'm exaggerating it a little bit. She's probably going to kill me, but I think at the same time, you realize how much I value her talent with the AU space. She is awesome at this stuff. Like, awesome. Yeah. And she'll talk. If there's a snafu and you own one, there's a problem with the city. She knows the planners.
Yeah, perfect.
She knows the building code guys. Right?
Yep,
what's the problem? Why are you messing with my client? I know the rules. You're wrong. Right? It's bad for you, man. That can be 3 months after the sale. She's hounding them for you. We don't go away. You're going to get wealthy with us. Right? That's the attitude. Yeah. Anyway, so an example of what Stephanie has. Now, this is one, this is an ADU where they're actually doing it and they're going to resell it with the ADU.
Okay.
Right. So this is one where if you don't want to do the renovations, but you want the house plus the ADU unit because there's more cash flow than a duplex in a lot of cases, right? All of these ADUs, if they're done correctly, they spit out more money.
Right.
than a traditional duplex for the same price.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see here, I mean, look at the annual income, right?
Yeah.
So if you add that second ADU, look what happens. It's a single
Mm-hmm.
family house with a mother-in-law suite in the basement, a little tiny home out back, 60 grand a year. Sounds like an apartment building,
Yes. Like
right?
amazing.
So this is why we're excited about ADUs. Like there's a real opportunity to do value add that is completely legal.
Mm-hmm.
The municipalities are, like Windsor at least, the progressive municipalities are begging for this
Mm-hmm.
residential density, partially because it doesn't cost the city anything. You don't have to build new curbs,
Yep.
new sewers, new nothing,
Right.
new electrical, because you're using the systems they've already put in place with tax money.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you build raised ranches in a bean field, the city's got to put a lot of money, putting new pipes in, putting new sewers in, putting new electrical cables in, putting new roads in, curbs in. It all costs money. So
Yep.
they love residential density, at least in Windsor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Last but not least, Sadie Morrow. I mentioned her earlier. She's the condo queen.
Mm-hmm.
Most years since 2018 in Windsor, she is the #1 salesperson for high-rise condos.
Wow.
Not new builds, but the used
Yeah.
products. Yeah. She'd have to marry somebody that builds condos to sell the condos in this town. That's how it works.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and she's not doing that. She's marrying a construction guy who's a wonderful human being, Josh. Yeah.
Perfect.
So Sadie, this is one of the best value condo buildings in Windsor. This is Victoria Park Place downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I actually lived here for 16 years. I was
Oh,
a bit
wow.
late to the game getting married. Yeah, so as my bachelor life, I was in this building, living downtown, and yeah, I mean, you can buy now. Condos are awesome for everything except for maximizing your cash flow,
Yes.
right? But
Mm-hmm.
safety of investment, predictability of investment, quality of tenant. So
Mm-hmm.
if you're watching this and you're a professional, you're an accountant or you're a doctor or a lawyer, you can't afford to lose your sleep at night.
Yep.
You just can't. You can't be worrying about a bum tenant in a fourplex. You just can't. You got to operate on somebody the next day. You got to go to court the next day to defend somebody from going to jail. You just can't. You can't have that distraction. So we have a lot of professionals, I would say, more than anybody, buying condos, and people that are risk adverse.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're like, boy, this Rhys guy, he doesn't shut up on this video. I like what he's saying, but I mean, I don't even know where Windsor is on a map. This sounds really risky.
Mm-hmm.
Buy a condo.
Yeah.
If nothing else, it's a great way to get your feet wet investing. If you've been struggling to get over that mental hurdle, where fear is just crushing your dreams. You want to do it, but you're scared.
Mm-hmm.
Start with a $200,000 condo.
Yeah.
Rent it out. Learn to be a landlord. You don't have to live in Windsor or you don't need a property manager for a condo, by the way.
No.
Literally, you get 12. I used to own 2 in the building. You get 12 post-dated checks, and see you next year. Like literally year after year, and then the checks would go up by the maximum allowed. And you don't even. I call them popcorn investments. When you're in the movie theater,
Yeah.
and you just pop popcorn in your mouth, you don't think about the popcorn. That's owning condo investments. Yeah.
Another great analogy.
I'm full of the crap like that. Yeah, the metaphors.
Full of it.
Yeah. But so right now, because of the price adjustments, but with the rent staying up, you can actually purchase and cash flow on condos right now. Now, bear in mind, you usually park more money in a condo. You can still cash flow at 80% loan to value with us. But again, a lot of professionals will park 35% down payment. And if you want to really increase your cash flow, jack that amortization rate up from 25 years to 30 years. And it makes a huge difference on your cash flow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, that's about it.
Awesome. So this is how they can get in contact with you and your team.
That's not the whole team. Because of the pandemic, we haven't been able to do a new team photo. But it's almost exactly the same team. You just have to put like Jason Balsden here. Let me get the mouse button here. You need to put Jason Balsden like right here, towering over everybody. That's who we're missing.
That is awesome. That is great. That was a lot of information. You changed my mind about Windsor. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm a lawyer by trade. I don't practice. I never did. because of my love of real estate. But my nickname in law school was the mayor.
The mayor.
Because I wouldn't shut up about Windsor. Yeah.
Maybe you should run for it one day.
They keep asking. I keep saying no.
Well, you're good at what you do. Thank you for being on the show today. Again, this was Rhys, your Windsor expert. And any questions or wanting to invest in Windsor, he's your guy. Thank you for watching, and thank you for being on, Rhys.
It's good working with you, Danny. Good to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you. Have a great day.
All right. See you guys.